Megan and Johanna from Travelers Paranormal. One of the questions we get a lot when we talk about paranormal investigating is, what is your favorite location to go to, or do you have a favorite location? Some version of that question. And our answer is always any location associated with the Second Battle of Franklin in the Civil War. It was a very brutal battle, a very active battle. It is sometimes referred to as the Gettysburg of the West. And every location associated with that battle is very active for the paranormal. We've been to the location in Spring Hill the night before the battle. We've been to the Lotes House. We've been to Cleveland Park. We've been to the Eastern Flank. And then there are stories throughout the city of Franklin. Honestly, we know of a few different businesses that say they've had experiences in them. So that entire area is very active, and as a result, it's one of our favorite places to go. So let's talk a little bit about it. Sam Watkins was in Company H, the 1st Tennessee Infantry for the Confederate Army, and he wrote a book about his experiences during the Civil War, and kind of gave the everyman, the soldier's point of view of the war and of what he was doing. And in it, he had a quote, "The generals risked their reputation, the private soldier his life. No one ever saw a private in battle. His history would never be written. It was the generals that everybody saw charge such and such." And that quote really gives the experience of the soldier. They were risking their lives, and no one really talks about them. And to prove him right, we're going to talk about the generals now.
So the Union Army was commanded by General John Schofield, and there were approximately 27,000 soldiers. They were taking the supply chain from General Sherman's march back up to Nashville. General Cox led the advanced guard and sent word that the Confederate Army was getting ahead of them, and in fact had gotten ahead of them at Spring Hill. As far as the Confederate Army was concerned, General Hood was the commander of the Army of the Tennessee with roughly 39,000 people, and they were sent to stop Schofield from reaching Nashville. General Benjamin Cheatham was blamed by General Hood for the failure at Spring Hill. General Patrick Cleburne was originally from Cork, Ireland. He immigrated to America and eventually settled in Arkansas. He saw the war as a losing cause, but signed up to serve and defend his new home. He spoke out before the war, asking the South to abolish slavery and prevent the war. And some say that his progress in being promoted was slowed because of his anti-slavery stance. But he's regarded as one of the more brilliant strategists,
better minds, and they probably should have listened to him.
And then General Nathan Bedford Forrest led the cavalry. So the night before the battle, November 29th, 1864, there were some skirmishes with about 350 casualties on the Union side and about 500 on the Confederate. Hood's Confederate Army had gotten in front of the Union troops, but the day was basically marked in miscommunication that allowed the Union Army to sneak down Columbia Pike, and onto Franklin, while the Confederate generals and their armies did not react. They, at one point, came very close to the Confederate Army and snuck past.
More about that later.
And so that miscommunication was largely that Confederate troops did see the Union Army, and they sent them. What is not debated is that the Union Army was seen, and a message was sent to General Hood. Now, at this point, Hood had suffered several injuries in his career, and he was taking laudanum for his pain. And so that day had been a long day, and the assumption is that he was under a lot of pain, and he had taken a good dose of the laudanum. So they woke him up in the middle of the night and told him about the Union advance, and all the way up to that is not debated. And so then,
what is debated?
According to Hood, he told the messenger to alert Cheatham and have his troops engage with the Union. And according to Cheatham, there was no command ever given. And so Hood blamed the loss at Franklin on Cheatham and said that he had refused to follow his command. And Cheatham says there was no command ever given. Regardless, the Union Army was able to slip by. And when we were at that location, we were trying to ask the troops what they thought about that.
So this just gives an idea of the field at Spring Hill. So you had a Union Army kind of moving through the road, and the Confederate Army was set up. They were camped. So we were on the hill, and there's some cannons set up now. But we were there listening to the S-Box.
It was part of a challenge that we were doing.
A challenge from What the Paranormal on YouTube, and it was go and pretend you're sleeping or sleep in a haunted location. It was only 15 minutes, so no one's falling asleep that fast. But pretend you're sleeping in a haunted location. And so we picked the Battle of Spring Hill, and the idea was to pretend that you were up on that hill, like listening to the Union troop come by. And how would you be feeling? And so that's kind of who we were looking to communicate with, that everyday soldier who was just waiting to find out what was going to happen the next day. And this is the communication that we got.
What do you think about General Hood?
Next to the cannon, and I asked the question of what do you think about General Hood, and the S-Box is going, that's the noise you hear, and I get what sounds to me like the response that tells me Hood killed us. So Hood may have blamed Cheatham blamed Hood, but at least one spirit that was reaching out to me, that was his interpretation of it. And we find that in other locations too. So our night at the Lotes house, trying to communicate with the spirits that are there. Again, the Lotes house was at the center of the Battle of Franklin, the Second Battle of Franklin. And same thing. We asked, we were asking questions about the battle, asking questions about the generals, and we get a very similar response there.
General Hood killed us?
Ouch. General Hood is the name of one of the commanders.
Foolish?
Let's talk a little bit more about the Lotes house and the Lotes family that lived there. Johann Lotes lived there with his family. He had several children. That house was really his showpiece, basically. He was a master woodworker who had first come and settled in Louisiana. He met his wife there. She was a divorced mother. She already had a son and a daughter. And then she married Johann, and they moved to Franklin, Tennessee. That house was his ability, and they had several other children, sorry. They had a son named Paul. They had a daughter named Matilda who is very connected to the Battle of Franklin because it was on her birthday. So imagine opening the door on your birthday and just seeing troops everywhere. And then they took cover in the Carter house across the way during the actual battle. Matilda would grow up and become an artist, and some of her paintings are actually hanging in the Lotes house these days. But and then they had twins who unfortunately passed away very young. So the house is his show house. He used that to show off his woodworking skills. There are different fireplaces in the home. There are different woodworking techniques used throughout the home so that he could show what he could do. He also was a piano maker, and so the big staircase that goes from the first floor to the second floor, at the base of the staircase is actually a piano leg, which was a way of showing off, more of his skills. that was the hope and dream for that house that he built for his family, which they would end up leaving after the battle, a little bit after the battle, and moving out of Tennessee. But do any of the family members remain to this day? I think that we have a recording that shows us that maybe there is some sign of Johann still in this house, or a spirit of Johann in this house. So we were upstairs asking questions, and there were some other investigators downstairs listening to what's called a geoport. And we were trying to communicate with members of the Lotz family, and we were asking different questions about woodworking. And finally we asked, like, what's the best wood that you would use if you were making pianos, because he was a piano maker. And I believe we get an answer on the geoport. So I'll play that now.
What kind of wood made the best pianos?
So maple. Maple was a popular wood to be used in pianos, and I believe the geoport downstairs actually asked our question from upstairs. So the Lotz house was at the center of the Battle of Franklin. The Union troops were all around it. The Confederate troops were advancing towards it. There's a field right to the left of the Lotz house if you're standing with your back to it, and that is known as Cleburne Park. It is approximately the spot where General Cleburne was killed during the battle, and that is the area that we go to the most. But you can see the kind of the layout of the way the battle looked and how that Lotz house is really at the center of it. That family would go and take cover in the Carter house for the night. We've not investigated inside the Carter house, although that is on the list of places to go. One of the popular stories of hauntings in the Lotz house is a soldier whose name is Willard Tolliver. Now, the reason for that is in the upstairs bedroom, there's a WT carved onto the floor, and Thomas, a historian at the Lotz house, has connected it to Willard Tolliver. And a lot of times people will go looking to communicate with him. He obviously spent some time there, he carved his initials there. We were upstairs having a conversation in that room using the S-Box, and what I'm going to play for you is like a condensed version of that S-Box.
That's whiskey too.
I'm going to play for you a condensed version of that S-Box conversation. But it was upstairs in the WT room, and this was just fantastic. The answers. Megan was listening to the S-Box. She had noise canceling headphones on. She doesn't know what my questions are at all. I'm asking the questions. She's saying what she hears from the S-Box, and you are going to hear. We're getting into some very specific details in this line of questioning that just doesn't happen by accident. And I was able to confirm this information with Thomas, that it is possible for soldiers from the state that was mentioned or had been at the other battles that were mentioned. So we'll let that play. You can use it to try and communicate with us.
Speak.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak with us?
I'm here.
Who's here? What's your name?
I just felt something touch me. Did someone just touch this? Yes.
What's your name?
Here.
My sister's name is Megan. My name's Johanna. What's your name?
Arnold?
Did you live here, Arnold, or were you a soldier? Arnold? Are you still here?
Sam?
Sam? Were you a soldier, Sam? Or Arnold? Were you treated here? Were you injured? Did you live here?
Lived here?
When did you live here?
Recent?
Who was president when you lived here?
Yes. Hood?
Did you serve
Damn
under?
it.
Did you serve under Hood?
A couple? General Hood.
Was he your commanding officer?
Yes. Corporal?
Is that your rank? Can you tell me your last name?
Smith?
Smith.
Kevin?
Who's Kevin? Is Kevin here now?
The same voice just came over twice, but I couldn't understand either time. It just sounded like a child laughed.
Is there a child here? Is there a member of the Lotz family here?
Yes.
Can you tell me your name?
7. Spirits.
7 spirits. Are Sam and Arnold still here?
Yes. Once.
Did you serve in the Union or the Confederate Army?
Union.
What other battles were you in?
Nashville. Shiloh.
You're doing excellent.
Nashville.
Nashville and Shiloh.
Lynchburg.
Is this still Sam? Sam, what state were you from? Sam, can you tell me what state you're from?
Minnesota.
Can you tell me what city you're from?
East something.
Minnesota is a beautiful state.
Hard.
Hard. Very hard winters. Especially near the Great Lakes.
Willard.
Is that WT? Can you tell me your last name? Willard, are you here?
Listen. Sad.
Why are you sad?
I can't, but then I couldn't understand what it said after that.
Thank you for trying to communicate with us. I'm sorry we can't understand all the time. We're trying.
Wilson. Soldier. Wilson again.
Wilson, were you a Union soldier or a Confederate soldier? I know there's a lot of people here. It may be hard to focus.
Haste. Ooh, I think it said Tolliver.
I just saw an orb. Is WT here? Can you tell us what the WT stands for?
I did.
Oh. Is it Willard? Tolliver?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you tell us what your rank was? Oh no.
Private. Yes.
Your rank was private? And your name was Willard Tolliver?
Corporal.
Corporal. Who did you serve under?
It said the same thing twice, and it sounded like East or Reese or something like that. But it said it, and then it waited, and then it said it again.
Were you injured in the battle and treated here? Or were you here during the battle? When did you carve your initials?
At night?
The night of the battle? Did you carve your initials on November 30th?
Oh, I heard a child's voice, but I couldn't understand it.
How many of us are in this room?
7?
There are 3. For the
6.
record. 6. Did someone just leave?
Yes.
Willard, Sam, and Arnold. Are you still here?
Hospital.
What was your injury? So we have the name Sam Harris. It is said that the house is haunted by a Union soldier named Willard Tolliver. Who are we speaking to? I'm going to say that just because Willard Tolliver's initials are carved there doesn't mean he's the only spirit there. It doesn't actually mean his spirit is there. So I think by being open to communication, maybe we had somebody else speaking with us. But the fact that the answers that he was giving lined up to be possible, according to Thomas, was really amazing. And again, this was unfortunately, I don't have it on video camera, but this was a blind experiment. Megan doesn't know what I'm asking. So when I ask what state are you from or what other battles were you at, for her to give those accurate answers, that was a fantastic night.
So the next video that we're going to play is a video of photos that was taken up in the Red Room in the Lotz house. And so what I do very often is go through a location, and I will take photos with my DSLR digital camera, and I will take a series of photos to capture what the room looks like, where things are, and if anything moves over the course of the series when there's no one in there. And so I'd taken about 4 pictures in this room, and you'll see my reflection, and then you'll see another reflection show up in one of the mirrors that was not me. And I'll let Johanna's video play.
While looking through photos from our overnight investigation at the Lotes house, Megan noticed something in the mirror on the right side. What you're going to see is a series of 4 photos that Megan took. I'd like to point out in the upper right hand side, you can see that the photos were taken for 3.2 seconds. You'll see the time and date that they are all taken at a similar time, and some other information. She's using her fisheye lens, so not all the information is filled out. Just watch that mirror on the right side. In that mirror, we have a figure appear in that last 4th photo. Now, on the very far right, in another mirror, you can see Megan's reflection. She's wearing a green mask at this point, and that figure does not look like her, but it does look like a Union soldier.
So that was an amazing piece of evidence for us to capture, and we were a little bit sad because we're like, I'm never going to capture something that cool again. But anyway, so again, we think that there's a Union soldier possibly haunting in that location. That house was used as a hospital after the battle. There were Union soldiers that were quartered in there as the hospital. Part of the wall, every building in Franklin was used as a hospital. Part of the wall had been collapsed out in the WT room. There were cannon shells that had gone through it, but so the red room would have stayed intact. So if it was used as a hospital, that's a room that would have been available to have soldiers in it.
And now this one. So in this video, we were at Cleburne Park, and we go there. We've been there before, and generally whenever I go to a location, especially a location with historical significance, I will ask the spirits if they have any advice for us, or anything that they can tell us, anything that would help us. And this time we were at the location. We had just gotten there. I'm doing, some B-roll type stuff, some intro type stuff. Megan is already listening to the S-Box. She already has her noise canceling headphones on, and she's listening for anything on there while I'm kind of doing my thing, because if she gets anything, I'll be able to respond to her. She's not. She's just sitting there quiet at Cleburne Park. And then I finished B-roll. I finished the intro type stuff that I wanted to do. And I say, this is Megan and Johanna and Megan from Travelers Paranormal. Is there anyone here who would like to communicate with us? And I'm going to get a, are you ready, basically. Or is it my turn? Something along those lines. And then we're going to get a very stern message and warning, really. And then what happened next was for about 30 or 40 minutes, and this is condensed again. It's almost like the battlefield was just opened up, and as we're walking along the park, and you'll see how the sky changes, how much darker it is at the end from when we started. It's like the battlefield was just opened up to us, and it was the residual sounds of what battle would sound like. Help me, move the horses, there's cannons over there, do you have the ammunition? Like, it was just all of these different messages. Someone saying a prayer, asking where someone is, I'm hit, talking about injuries. Just a mind-blowing experience of this stern warning, and then the opening up of what it would have sounded like a little bit during this battle.
The Lotes family had a wooden house, woke up that morning to discover all of a sudden their house was right at the battle line. Them and the Carter family all took shelter in the brick, more substantial Carter house, and waited out the day there. So, we're going to walk along Cleburne Park here. There's historical markers and some things like cannons and stuff to the Civil War. Like I said, Megan's listening to the S-Box, so let's see if we can get anything. That's Megan, I'm Johanna. Is there anyone who would like to communicate with us? If there is, you can use the device that Megan has to try and communicate.
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Megan said, are you talking to me? Yes, what's your name?
At last.
Megan said at last. Could you tell me your name? I'm Johanna, this is Megan.
For the future, I want to give a warning.
Ominous. Continue, please. We're listening.
You have to come together. It does no good divided. Are you in the park?
Yes. We're in Cleburne Park. Megan said you have to come together. It does no good divided. We're in Cleburne Park. Who are we speaking with? Thank you for communicating with us. I didn't expect that kind of interaction.
We are above you.
Okay. Can you see us in the park? Really didn't expect that right out of the gate. I'm gonna walk.
I can't see.
Okay. How many of you are there? Said we are above you, so multiple.
One now.
So there's one of you? Could you tell me your name?
Chaos. Pure chaos.
Chaos, pure chaos. Could you tell me your name?
Watch them die.
You're talking about the Battle of Franklin? Were you here for that battle? Can you let me know?
Correct.
Correct.
Cleburne, see them. Think we can move east.
I was gonna say I didn't think.
Hell if I know.
Hell if I know.
We're going. We're going. There's nothing out there. Protect them.
Definitely very much sounds like residual.
Where do we go? Dangerous. It's madness. How was it unexpected? It's awful. Help me. I can't move.
This battle is referred to as Gettysburg of the
No
West.
safe place.
It's an incredibly brutal fight, a lot of hand-to-hand combat. So imagine what Megan's theory is, just looking kind of looking out at that field there, approaching this way. Just imagine it, you know, person after person just coming together, clashing.
We charge tonight.
So it's an empty field
To
for
the
us
fort.
now. But, you know, for them,
I don't know.
obviously a crazy battle.
Is there any hope?
Alright, I'm going to direct Megan back through the park because I don't want
Are
to
you
walk
there?
down the street. I can hear you. Are you speaking with us? I'm Johanna, this is Megan. Is there someone who would like to communicate with us?
I'll run across. We'll run together.
I've talked about this in other...
Forrest has gone mad. I can only hope it's over quick.
Forrest has gone mad. I can only hope it's over quick. So we're going to walk back past
Cleburne,
Cleburne. Patrick Cleburne, are you here?
what do you know?
We'd like to speak with you if you're here, if you can hear us.
Get to the trees.
Okay. So continuing with residual.
Run through.
Meg and I have talked about this before. For us, in our opinion, and in other people's opinion, we just, by all means, did not come up with this. But if you imagine the emotion and the trauma that happened in this place, that creates a residual haunting.
Shattered.
Like a place memory. The place is remembering what happened and replaying it like a video. Like I said, intelligent hauntings are cool because you get interaction, but literally we're like listening back in time. We're time travelers right now.
It's outrageous.
So that is the answer to what is your favorite paranormal location. I will always tell people to come to the Second Battle of Franklin. Come to Franklin, Tennessee. Go to Cleburne Park. Go to the Lotes House. Go to, I don't have anything from it, but the eastern flank. There's, there's a small cemetery there. Go there. Even a field in the middle of Spring Hill. There's...
Don't trespass.
Don't trespass. But, it's public property. But just the whole area, it has an energy about it. The Battle of Franklin, just a phenomenal location.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.